and I really wonder what they're going to pick. We still have the 5 maps in the map pool from the winter season, so that's what you have to keep in mind.
It's going to be China first for FUT Esports. I don't think I've seen, at least personally, I don't think I've seen China be a first pick, but it was an immediate response of Brazil from VP and then USA. That's a pretty quick response, I'd have to say.
Yeah, and then we have France and Greece as the decisive maps. So, but yeah, you were talking about it, China as the first map. I really wonder what the issue there is, or what the game plan is. And then Brazil also map heavily relying on tricks, and then we're gonna end up with the more normal maps, I would say, like USA, France, and Greece. I would really just consider them the normal maps in this map pack in comparison to China and Brazil. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this match. Prediction-wise, I think Paco has it, by the way. I think Paco with Neon. Neon looked very good, but I think they just have the slight upper hand. But I think we're gonna go to map number 4, even map number 5 here. What do you think, Legion?
I would agree with that. I had the pleasure of casting with G Geek earlier in that first broadcast of the day, and we did kind of touch on this a little bit prior to signing off for at least the next few hours. I predicted a 5 series. Maybe somebody wins it early, but I was really hoping for going to map number 5. Of course, I wasn't gonna guess the score, and I sure as hell wasn't gonna guess the map order. So I think we will see 5th map. I kind of want to see overtime on map 5, because I feel like that would be perfect. Because I don't think we've had an overtime on a map 5. I don't think.
We had overtime already, but I think it wasn't on map 5. So yeah, that's always absolute cinema. But I just hope to have a close match here coming into play. And just to start off on China, I mean, this was a map that was really known to have a start that is very punishing, and after that there's not really too much happening. You have the ice slide, you have the drift, you have the outside dirt turn, but you don't really lose plenty of seconds or hundreds or tenths in comparison to the bug slide at the start that players have to utilize. So this was the bread and butter, and just seeing the warm-up now from Paco here, it's looking very good, and I really want to see the times here as well that they can drive on this map. But VPxNeon looking very good in the warm-up. Let's see what Nico and Legu can answer to that. I mean, it's the first pick from FUT side. Not sure what is the mindset from them. Like, maybe they want to get their weakest map out of the way, but this would not really make any sense, right? As we're now starting here with the first round.
In some way, though, it does kind of make sense. It's sort of like I always call it plate theory. Oh, and already a touch there from I believe that was Legu, or not Legu.
And no bug slide.
And no bug slide. Sort of the dinner plate theory of you get your steak dinner, right? You got the steak, and then you have like the noodles, and you got your vegetable or whatever. So you kind of eat the vegetable first, get that out of the way, and then you go to the noodles.
You do that?
Steak. Yeah, I get the part of the plate. I really. Well, even though I want to eat all of it, of course, the lowest one down on the desirable.
I see. I do that with toast. If I have a toast, I do that.
Yeah. So you see the point. You kind of get you get the not best part of it out of the way first, and then you reward yourself with a better experience. And I assume that's kind of what's happening here with FUT. Get that first sort of bad map out of the way. And then from there, you can kind of focus on everything else. And right now, it's been a fantastic round for everybody. Nako's going to lead at home with a 105.7. Neon's right behind, and Legu in 3rd. So it will be that first victory for FUT Esports already. I'd say that's probably the best start that they could have hoped for.
Yeah, I mean, Neon lost the gear in the small uphill drift there. So that's why he was falling behind. Fought his way back very nicely. Was able to overtake Legu there, who Nico now with a mistake. So it's Neon and Paco now with a great start. But yeah, I know that people do eat like this. But yeah, let's not get into this discussion, because it's quite interesting to see that. And yeah, we should definitely try that with soup. That is for sure. We should just try to pick out all the noodles, all the atoms that are maybe similar to each other. We should definitely do it like that. But what is certainly happening here is that the atoms do align very nicely for Paco Paco and Neon, because they're in first and second with their car skins, but Lego with the attack here. Very, very good line here. Going into the lead, almost touching the wall, but he's still not failing here. And that is a nice fight here for that first place. Lego not with the best landing. Paco approaching the ice turnaround as the first person. Lego will have a lot of speed. Is he able to control it and also slow down significantly? The answer is a yes. And we also see a mistake there from Neon, clipping there a little bit and losing a lot of speed, but it will be another victory, but this time for VPxNeon. And look how good this time was as well, a 105.5. 500 was Lego behind, and then Neon, after that mistake, he was also in very close proximity.
We haven't seen a round where somebody hasn't made a mistake, and now it's Paco's turn on the chopping block there. So out of 3 rounds of play here, we've had 3 drivers mess up the start here on China. So I don't know if that's nerves or perhaps just slight misjudgments from everybody, but for the most part, it has led to some pretty solid competition on the upper end of the field. Right now, it is Neon and Nako battling it out for P1. Just about 2/10 is going to separate them as they go up into this very large cliff face, and it is Legu holding it strong there in 3rd position. So if there is the possibility of a draw here, both teams would get a point, although Nako on the attack here towards Neon does get the overtake. Neon fighting back though. There is less than 300ths of a second between them. Neon so close to the flag there. How he didn't clip that is beyond me. But we go into the boosters. It's about the same for both of them, actually. I think Neon, no, I thought he had a little more speed. He did it. The second turnaround. Neon goes super deep on that booster. He's going to get so much more, but it's not going to be enough. Nako holds on to P1 by less than 1/10 of a second. I think Neon went just a little too deep on that second booster. I think that's probably what did him in.
Yeah, but if the map was longer, he would have overtaken there. But what a great match we're watching here. FUT now ahead after 2 victories and 1 defeat, one could say, in round number 2. They now are ahead again, and Neon with a first mistake in this round. So that is a beautiful scenario for FUT esports here. They can really pull the trigger and extend their lead finally after 2 very good rounds where they really got 4 points out of it. VP and Neon are not out on it just yet, especially Paco here, who will have a lot of speed going into the wall rides here, where you still have icy tires attached to your car. So it is very important to not slide out there, and Paco had it beautifully. He is now in the lead, gets a very good line there, doesn't lose the gear as opposed to Nako, who's falling a bit further behind. So Paco on a great time. Neon 1 second behind, so he will not play a role here. So let's go ahead into the POV from Legu, actually from Nako, who's now fighting it out with Paco here for that first position. Paco has more speed in this sector, but Nako traveling less distance. So this will all come down to the ending. Who's gonna win this round? This will be so close, but Paco has more speed and just stays ahead by 11 thousandths of a second. Great ending from Nako though.
That was fantastic. He went deeper on the booster. That's what it was. He was able to collect more speed on exit, and that's how he got that overtake done. That's exactly what you want to see. We have seen so many players go right up to the border of that platform booster block, and we have seen a few of them get trapped by that snow on the end of it. So how much these players are really willing to push as Neon decides to test the structural strength of that wall, and it appears as though it has been not Pussy to Paco, but Nako, who's done the exact same thing. Thankfully, though, it is still a battle for the lead, and that's a great line there for Pussy to Paco to pull way ahead. It's like he just activated 6th gear and pulled away from Legu. But Legu comes back. He's got something in this. He's trying to close this gap now, just about 1/10.5 as we drop into the last set of checkpoints. Legu's going tighter there, tries to get a straighter line. He does have slightly more speed as he contacts the ground onto the first turnaround. We go Neon with the respawn in the background. Pussy to Paco matching the speed of Legu. Legu's going to try to go deep. He goes right to the edge of the booster, but it's not going to be enough. It will be a first place for Pussy to Paco, but importantly, it will be the round draw for FUT Esports to put them on 7, which will give them a track point. All it's going to take is 1 ace, and this map is over.
And also very, very notable, it is the first real crash here in this round from Neon. 20% crash rate, but just take a look onto this. Paco 60% top 1, Nako 40% top 1. So it's really Paco versus Nako, and then they see what Legu and Neon are doing in those rounds. Right now it really seems like Neon is a bit of the weaker link from VPxNeon in this particular matchup. He cannot really find himself into the top 2 position that often. He hasn't won a round so far, and also here he goes a bit too wide and clips there a little bit. So maybe it's the nerves, maybe it's just a day form, who knows. And again, also in this round, Legu is looking very, very good here because he could win his first round in this particular match. Paco is not too far behind, and look at the speed from Paco here, overtaking Legu just in one moment here, but still even a draw would be heavily advantageous for FUT. But keep in mind, Neon is ahead of Nico at the moment, so this will most likely be a victory. And the 8-8 scoreline, what will happen in the end? I think it will be Neon staying ahead, and yes, he will. But what a great round here, only 0.6 between first and fourth, and whoever wins the round as the first team, well, is going to win this map. We expected a close match, and we got a close match.
You've got the 5 and the 16 that are right next to each other on the table, so this is to be expected. But potentially the last round coming out here on China, all it's going to take is one mistake, 2 mistakes. That is both VPxNeon players touching the wall there. So now it's all on Nako and Legu to carry this one home. Half a second right now separates them from Neon, but Neon's got a lot of work to do if he wants to draw this round out. He's going to have to overcome quite the mountain in front of him to force one more round, or maybe, just maybe, both of these players decide to back off and lose some speed, and it's looking like this could be possible. Neon now has closed in. He has dispatched one. Oh, he hasn't. No, it's Nako coming back. He's trying to get back at it. He's gotten around Nako, and now he's got his sights set on Legu. If he can get this ending to work for himself, he will secure VPxNeon another chance for a map 1 victory. Into the boosters we go. It is not going to be as deep on the booster for Neon as Legu went, and we go into this second one. Is there any response here on the turnaround? It will be the overtake for Neon, but it's not going to be enough. Legu holds strong with a 105.7 to win the round for FUT Esports, and more importantly, to close it out here on China, 10-9.
Yeah, as close as it gets here. No ace has happened. Another victory there. So FUT Esports wins this map, but it was indeed very close. It was all decided in this last round here. The start has again played his role, and now we go to Brazil. Oh, wow. I'm very much looking forward to this particular map. I think it's VPxNeon's first map pick. I mean, they kind of have to win this one, but I think FUT can also do a lot of damage on this particular map. I really want to see what the PBs are. 0.8 for Legu, then a 0.69 from Nico, then a 0.9 from Paco, and a 0.7 from Neon. So PB-wise, it's better for FUT right now, one could say, but consistency is of course very important, holding that gear and all of that stuff. So VPxNeon already having to pull the trigger here, else this match can be over very quickly. And I expect another close map here coming into play between those two teams.
I absolutely agree with you on that one. It's like you said, it's VPxNeon's first pick. So if it goes well, they'll tie up the series. Then, of course, map 2 is going to be USA, which will be their second pick. So they could go back-to-back map wins here. But, of course, if they drop Brazil, that's going to put them in quite the situation because they're going to be down 2-0 early. And in a competition like this, with company like this, it's kind of the last thing that you want to have happen. So we get to the end of warm-up here for the first of, hopefully, many exciting rounds here on Brazil. It's time to calm the nerves, folks. It's time to go to Brazil for map 2.
Yeah, let's go to Brasilia. Map 2 it is, and we start off with round number 1 here. Paco and Neon, they have to do something. They're behind. But I mean, losing the first pick from your opponents, well, you kind of can expect that, and Paco and Neon are ready. They are resilient, and let's see what especially Neon can do, who looked very good on this map in the past as well. Paco losing the gear, and also Nako and Lego with a very good line coming closer to Neon there. So everybody with a good start. Paco, I thought that he lost more speed with that. I'm not sure what maybe was just a slow landing or something like that, but he's still in the mix. He's only 0.1 away from the others, and take a look onto this round here. It is so close between everybody here, but Niko's still in the lead. Lego with a good line there as well. Paco and Neon will have a bit more speed into the play. plastic rubber, and we see a respawn from Legu happening here. Oh, beautiful entry into the turn as well from Paco. Look at the speed here, and let's take a look onto the last part, the checkpoint here, 45.3. I sadly missed out on it, but so did Paco on this turn, as he also got water wheels. But who's gonna get first position? It will be Nico, and we start things off with a draw. Also good control there from Paco, not sliding out on the water. He had watery wheels and still was able to finish only 1 second behind.
I hope people realize just how difficult that is, because it seems like once you get in that situation, it's pretty much GG's at that point, and there's nothing you can do to come back from that. So to be able to have your tire dip into the water like that while having reactor boost and not fly off to another country is quite impressive. So that's great news for his side of the equation here. So a 1-1 line is where we find ourselves, and at the start of round number 2, it's actually both FUT Esport players in the lead. Nako leading his teammate Legu. We're riding on board with Neon right now. He's going to try to look for a way around these guys. He does have his teammate Paco there, but he's about 4/10 out of this. So unless there is a major slowdown from all three of these guys, plus a massive push from Paco, he's pretty much going to be out of this. So it all comes down to Neon to try and split up the FUT Esport players even more, or maybe get ahead of Legu and force another draw here. As we come back down and through onto the beach once more, we are closing in on the end. It's going to be nothing but water from here on out, and Nako all over the place. He almost flipped it over, but he kept it upright. Little dirt or a little chicane there to draw it out. It's going to be close to line, but it is going to be Legu. 0.003 of a second. And it will be the round victory for FUT Esports. I mean, you and I wanted a match that was going to be close and exciting, Turbo. I think we've got it.
Yeah, I think we've got it here, but what an ending there from Neon, barely staying behind there, 0.003 of a second. But again, VPxNeon, they have to do something. They need to find some good starts. They need to get it through both together, because right now FUT really playing better as a team. 2 players surviving in those rounds, and even if one makes a mistake, well, the other got him covered. But now in this round, it's looking good for Paco and Neon, finding themselves in a battle with Nako. Legu has been falling a bit behind, but let's take a look what Neon is going to do here. Very good approach, no airtime should happen here, and Neon, like, how did he survive that drift? I have no clue. But he's in this round, he has survived it, he's leading, and also Paco had an exceptional nose slide here from this transition, and he got it again. Look at the speed here. This is the round for VPxNeon to turn everything around, to go back into the lead, but for that they need the ace. Neon almost clipping there, or flying off of the car, or off the track, and getting watery tires, but it is Paco versus Niko in the ending, and it will be the ace. And look at that time as well, a sub 104 from Neon. Paco only 0.1 away, and that is exactly what VPxNeon was in need of.
Yeah, puts him right into the driver's seat here, and having a time that's only a few tenths off of world record is absolutely insane to do in rounds. So if this continues, this will be an excellent choice for VPxNeon. But of course, FUT Esports not one to take it lying down so easily, although it is going to be a touch there on the platform, I believe, from Legu. So that'll put him out of the round. And Neon, what's an odd little slowdown for him, but he's still within a shout of the leading 2 pairs. If Nako can hold station there in P1, it will be the draw. It'll keep us at a 2-point split, but importantly, it'll keep 2 points from falling into VPxNeon's hands, or potentially even 3, depending on how this round goes into the bowl. We're going to go high here, and everybody makes it through cleanly. A 45-3 split time for Nako, though. That could be something. And of course, Paco as well is right behind him into the ending here. Paco's starting to push it. He's almost flipping the car over, capsizing it, if you will. What a launch there out of the corner. He's got Nako right where he wants him, and it will be the first place for Pussy to Paco with a 103.9, the second 103.9 that we've seen. Legu was able to get home in third, and Neon, is this bumper boats? I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that was a very, very wicked approach there from Neon. I have no clue how he survived that, but that was indeed quite wicked. Let's say it like that. And let's go into the next round. VPxNeon still ahead, but still this feels already like a marathon match here. Both teams are giving everything that they have, but no one can really capitalize from it. No team can really get like a cushion to work with, like a victory and ace in a row. It's usually like victory for the other team. It's very well contested, but we're already just figuring that out before the match has started. But now Neon with a mistake, having to double respawn by the looks of it. So he's completely out on this round. So this is now the shot for FUT Esports to come back into this map here, because with that they would only be 1 point behind VPxNeon if Paco stays on that second position, which right now looks the case, even though he gets a very good nose slide. Lego failed a bit, but he's 4 seconds ahead of Neon, so it doesn't matter. It only matters here for that battle for first position. Nico versus Paco. Paco with a good line though, coming closer. Will it be enough? Nico with a nose slide, and it will be Paco who wins the round, gets a gift, and it will only be 1 point instead of 2 for FUT Esports.
Draw.
And it is 5-7, still a 2-point gap, and VPxNeon on track point. And Legion, that is so important now for VPxNeon to just close it out when they can, because FUT Esports, they're not out on it.
No, that was perfectly set up for FUT too, and just right at the end, the no slide. And sometimes it's just those little things that can completely ruin a round. So VPxNeon, an ace here would put them into a 1-to-1 series situation. As Legu, I saw him going up the looping there. Just, I don't know if he clipped something on the way in or what the deal might have been, but he had absolutely no speed. So it falls to Nako, who really is pushing on some of these beach sections, trying to get a little bit of tilt on the car, get a little bit of a tighter line and more exit speed. He has gotten around Neon for P2. He's just got to get around Pussy to Paco if he wants to bring another draw onto the table. But of course, one mistake is all it will take from Nako to promote Neon into P2. Perfect. Well, folks, you can add that one to the Caster's Curse Vault. That could not have been timed any better. And speaking of times, it's time VPxNeon take their first map win of this series, 10-5 on Brazil. And that's quite a way to end it.
Yeah, it is. So nice jinx there. Very, very good job there, Legion. And let's go to map number 3. So exactly what VPxNeon was in need of. That was what I was talking about just as the round started. So beautiful for them, of course, but I just hope that FUT can recover from that curse. But I think you need to charge up your second curse for a longer time, because this one was exceptional. As we now go to USA. So FUT versus VPxNeon, and this is the second pick for VPxNeon.
This would be a fantastic opportunity for them to get another point on the board for the maps, because that would now put FUT Esports in the hot seat at a 2-1 scoreline, meaning that FUT Esports would have to win the next 2 maps if they want to take this match here today. Definitely a lot easier said than done, but USA has proven to be a map that has, at least in my eyes, probably one of the more unpredictable endings, just because it seems so simple, right? You're just, okay, it's a simple drift uphill, but how many times have we seen rounds decided that point?
Yeah, actually true. I mean, this drift here, like especially, so you mean like the drift before the dirt flick, right? I mean, you have a lot of different lines there to choose, and then the ending as well. I mean, it's flat drifts, neo slides. But I mean, this map has been, like, a lot of players have failed this particular drift, like the approach to the ice, and then also the dirt flick as well, which is so hard to do.
Yeah, it absolutely is, because it seems like it should be very, very simple, but I think some of these rounds, players end up being on the dirt, or not on the dirt, excuse me, on the ice, just not long enough to really make the most of that dirt flick, and we've seen people slide out, like the entire surface was ice. So how that plays into this match, well, of course, we'll have to see it, of course. It's only the first round. I'm not going to say how it's going to go every single time, but we have seen some very big names make that mistake, which you'd feel like shouldn't be happening. But we are getting up to it for the first time, and so far, everybody's pretty close to each other. Into this dirt flick, the top 3 make it through, and they cross that checkpoint. That's insane times. Paco is really pushing it on the inside. Neon trying to support from the rear, and it will be Legu starting the attack, and it is going to be Nako clipping the wall, going up and over. And speaking of up and over, what could have been a victory, a 2-1 scoreline in favor of VPxNeon has become an ace for the red side, as it will be another clip on the edge of the platform. That is something we've also seen quite a lot of.
And what an ending there from Paco. It was dead even after the dirt flick. And then Paco just gained so much time, and Neon also staying not too far behind to capitalize from 2 individual mistakes from Lego and Nico. 3-0. It could have been a 2-1 in favor for FUT, but now they're 3 points behind instead. So Neon and Paco, they have arrived in this match. They take that momentum from the previous ace, the first ace of the entire match, and now they got another one just after that. So you love to see that if you're a Paco and Neon fan. And also take a look up to the start from Neon here. Very, very nicely done. Paco going very, very inside, will have a weird apex there. And Lego, what did he do? How did he get so much speed in this corner? A beautiful approach there, but Paco's ending was very fast. The former teammates are fighting it out here for that first position. Lego versus Paco, and look at the line from Paco coming closer to Lego here. It will all come down to the last transition. Paco going for the inside approach. Lego with more speed, and he will stay ahead. But since Neon overtook Nico and made a small mistake, it will be a draw, but still heavily advantageous for VPxNeon, who are now up to 4 points. It's looking good, but so tight as well.
It's really that last section. I believe 2 rounds in a row we have seen somebody from the FUT esports side just committing a little too hard on the inside for those ending drifts and clipping and losing all of their momentum. So that seems to be their kryptonite, at least in these first couple of rounds, already being down 3 points. So this is really starting to put a fire underneath the FUT esports drivers, and we do see Neon going a little high there. So he's going to smack the wall. And that'll put him even farther down the field, as Legu starting to battle it out with Pussy Paco for second place. Nako right now all by himself up in first. It's like he's in a completely different zip code. And as we go through that ice flick, it is going to be the crash there for Pussy Paco. And that does give Legu so much breathing room as Neon overtakes his teammate. I'm sure both FUT eSport players know the situation, and they are going to take it quite safe here as we drift through the identity. A lot of lifting from both of these drivers, and it will be FUT eSports getting the ace here to tie it up at 4. Neon and Pussy Paco, that was a very unusual round from them.
Yeah, I agree. Both with mistakes there and falling 1 second behind there. So very important for FUT to come back into this particular map. And now it is 4-4, so it's game on. It's anyone's game, and FUT with the answer of being 3 points, or after being 3 points behind. So let's go into the next round. Very important, because like an ace would even set you up to map point on the next round. So very, very important to deny that. And also, yeah, with a great start here, finding himself quite far ahead. And also keep in mind how good Paco's ending was, and look at the speed here as well, jumping very far into the drift there and having maybe a bit of an awkward apex there. I like Legos a bit more. You have a good exit there, but also Paco and Nico did it very, very nicely. But Neon is on a monster time here. As you can see, he's on a great run. He's 0.1 ahead just from the get-go, but Paco is also joining him, and this could be the ace for VPxNeon if they hold it together. Nico tries his best, but doesn't get the best of drifts. Is someone clipping in the end? Oh, it was so close though, but Nico couldn't capitalize on that. It's an ace for VPxNeon. Wow.
The response ace to what FUT eSports does. So VPxNeon back into the lead here. 7-4 is your scoreline, map 3. If VPxNeon can get another ace here, that'll close it out. That'll put them up 2-1, back-to-back map victories. And that would put FUT eSports in quite the uncomfortable situation, as they would have to win the next 2 maps to take today's series. But so far, after the first 20 seconds of driving, everybody is separated by less than a tenth, and it is the FUT eSports boys who are leading the way, although Neon has some extra speed there. He's opting for that earlier landing, as does his teammate, so that pulls them right back into this fight. This is an incredible round so far. No mistakes from anybody through the ice flick. And now it is all coming down to the end. VPxNeon, both of them have taken the 1 and 2. Legu is fighting back. He's trying to break them up. He's trying to keep us
no slide.
and he's gonna commit a little too much. The no slide comes out, and unless somebody falls off the end, it's not gonna be another round. It is gonna be back-to-back aces for VPxNeon. They're gonna take map number 2 here on USA. The scoreline a lot closer than it was in map 1, but about the same as we saw in map number 2.
Yeah, but cold-blooded there from Neon and Paco at the end, getting 2 aces. And I was already talking about that in the 4-4 round, and I was like, no way, a team is getting 2 aces in a row. But here we are on map number 4. So VPxNeon taking control ahead of FUT, and now we go to the penultimate map here, which is France, RPG-esque map, and I think Neon was very, very good on this map. 107.3 as his PB, Paco with a 106.9, but I think what really was the key for Neon on this particular map was his consistency. He has the slowest PB, but he was always there in those rounds. So let's just see how it goes for Neon. Maybe it's one of his weaker maps, who knows, but we're gonna find it out after a small warm-up. FUT now, this was their last pick, but there were only hardly any maps left here. Legion, VPxNeon, they can close it out. They're so close, but so far both teams made their homework. Both teams have won their respective pick, but the question is, can FUT do it on this map as well? And we go to map 5.
Well, you mentioned the consistency in the PBs, and while yes, having the top time in this lobby is definitely a contributing factor to your team's overall success, it is that consistency. It doesn't, it's one thing if you can hit, say, a low 107, just make it easy. Let's say it's a 107.2, right? It's great if you can hit that as a PB, but if you are in rounds doing, I don't know, let's say a 108.5, that PB doesn't mean anything. That one fast time is not going to set the tone for the whole match. So being able to be in the picture, even if you are not the fastest guy, will usually end up paying dividends sooner or later. And we have seen it plenty of times where players aren't the fastest, but at the very least, they're in the mix and they can capitalize on whatever mistake their opposition makes.
Yeah, I agree. And right now it is Nico with a mistake, and there was another slow car that was like, I've never seen this kind of camera bug. Have you seen that as well? I was on Nico's POV and there were 2 cars, and I was like, why is there another car happening here? But anyway, it is whatever. Let's take a look here into this round, because we see a massive mistake from Paco's side as well, who having to respawn. So Neon promoted up into 2nd place, Legu on 1st, and well, this is just another draw here to start off things, but you still have to clear the ending here, those half pipes that are very, very important to, not clip like Neon does at the moment. He lost a lot of speed with that, but also Lego didn't have it perfectly, and I think that's a 108.5 almost. It's a 108.07 as the winning time, so not the fastest winning time here by all things considered.
No, but being in 1st place and your teammate being in last, of course, secures you the draw here. So for FUT Esports, despite a rather shaky start to the map, it actually ended up working out pretty well for themselves in the end. So instead of VPxNeon getting 2 or even 3 points, they're just going to make them settle for 1 and say, all right, well, you can have 1, we'll have 1, let's call it even, and go into the next round here. And it is Neon leading the way, but Pussy to Paco from 4th to 2nd in just a couple of corners, as we do see Legu crashing into the checkpoint, and it all falls to Nako to try and get himself into that 1st place position, or repay the favor that Legu had last round. Of course, there were some mishaps here, as we do see Neon clipping the barrier. Pussy to Paco opting for that crisscross line to have a much smoother landing, but into the identity we go. Pussy to Paco ahead by only about 10th and some change. Nako may start to push here. They're both going to opt to stay on the right, that riskier line, and it has actually worked out a lot better for Pussy to Paco, as he is, I thought he just clipped the quarter pipe on landing, but that wasn't the case. Neon will cross the line in 3rd, so VPxNeon will take the lead here 3-2 on a victory round.
And Paco here with a very good time as well, a 0.4. Definitely a great time. You can lose so much time just on this map at the end, or just everywhere. Also this outside line, but it really all came down to who's doing the mistake that loses you the least amount of time to get that victory. And in this case, it was Neon, who was on third position, and that was very important. And also take a look onto that start here from Neon. Very, very nicely done here. Goes into the nose slide, doesn't really get too much speed out of it, so he kind of failed it there. And also Paco, not with the best amount of speed in this sector, but it's still very close between the players. It's only 0.1 of a second, but we see Neon with a mistake. Paco also having to readjust here. So this looks like to be a good answer from FUT Esports in this particular round. But don't count out Paco. He's so fast when it comes to risky stuff, but he can still fail it, right? He can still make a mistake, but he wants to overtake Lego here in this particular round to deny them the victory. But Paco clipping himself, reacts very fast, but it will be Nico now coming into play as well. Who's gonna get second position? Will it be Nico or Paco? Nico with a bit more speed, but it will not be enough. It is the victory, however, for FUT, but that was so important for Paco to stay ahead there to deny that ace. Wow.
It was. That keeps it tied up at 4 points apiece. As Neon's gonna take a little bit of a nap here. Honestly, I don't really blame him. You know, even
let's take a nap. Let's take a nap, guys.
Yeah, can we just get like a nap stream? It's just everybody, everybody sleeps. Everybody, the commentators, the producers, the viewers, everybody gets to sleep.
Oh my god.
Right, man. He is clocked out here, from locked in to clocked out. I mean, he does it all. So back to the match, though. It is 4-all, and so far this round has been the cleanest we've seen. No early mistakes. Everybody has been able to keep it together. It is, of course, Pussy Paco who is on the outside looking in, as Neon all by himself trying to fend off both French players. And as we go into...
What a line from Lego.
That was insane. He got so much speed out of that, and everybody else did. So going into this last checkpoint, we will see what everybody is split up by. It's a little over 1/10 of a second. There was a slowdown for Neon. I don't know if he grabbed a little too much penalty grass or what the case might have been, but into the right side of the quarter pipe we go. Could this be? Oh, it was looking like an ace, and now it's looking like a victory for VPxNeon. Nako, he pushed that last jump just a little too hard. He clipped the quarter pipe, and that was looking like a round for FUT ripped out of their hands, as VPxNeon gets the victory and gets the points lead.
Dude, that was like such an insane round. Like, everybody was so close to each other, and also so important here for FUT to capitalize on that one. It looked like an ace for them even, but then it was not the case. So very, very unfortunate for them. But again, look at the start here from everyone. It is only Neon who's a bit further ahead, but other than that, it's 7,000s between second and fourth here. And also Paco with an exceptional line here. I really want to see what Lego is able to do in this sector here again. How much speed is he going to accumulate? It's looking good. The landing here is very important, and Lego got it very nicely, but still Paco and Neon, they are ahead. They really are pushing it right now. Nico, the world record holder, sadly cannot hold it together, and it is Paco's and Neon's round to lose here. Will they make it across? Both going for the risky line here, looking good, and I think those will also be great times. Paco slowing down here a little bit, clips there, but it will not be enough for Lego to overtake. And look at that, a 0.4 and a 0.5. VPxNeon, like, just like a predator, just so unforgiving, just clutching it out, and only 1 point needed for them to close out this match. Wow.
I know that's going to be a lot for FUT Esports to overcome. They would need to get an ace and then ideally get another ace to go to map 5. But if they can get a victory in that round, well, it'll be enough. And we have seen Pussy Paco making a mistake as well as Nako. So Legu, he's got to pray that Neon messes something up, because if he doesn't, it will be one singular point being given to both teams. But importantly, it'll be VPxNeon winning the map, and that is not going to do him any favors. And I think I saw Nako with a slight touch. He's got a little less speed.
Neon as well, I think.
Make it across. Yeah, but Neon, he is in such a perfect position. Half a second clear of FUT Esports. He doesn't even have to risk it that much. He's got about a quarter second over second place. This is where we're going to see Nako start to push. And Neon, he's got a little bit of a clip. If he crashes here at the end, it will be another round, but that's not going to happen. Nothing Nako could have done. Nothing Legu could have done. And it will be VPxNeon taking map number 4. And more importantly, the series. 3 maps to 1, 11-6 is your final score line. We didn't get to see Greece, but quite frankly, I'm happy with how this whole thing played out.
Yeah, but it was still so close up until it wasn't. I think that really describes it the best. But VPxNeon winning a match against a worthy and even opponent as well, right? 5th and 6th in the standings for them. And VPxNeon will get a significant, or like a very important victory. Of course, there's so many matches coming up this weekend. Like tomorrow, there will be a match at 13:30 CEST between Big and VPxNeon, so I'm very much looking forward to that match. I'm definitely gonna watch that. And then there will be just matches at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 22. And then guys, get ready for Sunday. Like from 13 to 20 we have a match every hour. Like, it will be so good. It will be so much fun to see. It's the Super Week, as we have called it back in the days when the Challenger League and the Grand League were played twice, or 2 steps were played twice.
Yep, and I think importantly is that while of course this was the last match of the day, tomorrow we will finally see the big reveal. If you catch my drift, we haven't seen Masa or Grenadi yet. In every week of competition, it has been everybody else playing, but we have not seen Big once on circuit. Their first match will be against VP. So right now, if you do happen to look at the standings, you will see, of course, Big all the way at the bottom with 0-0, but that's because they haven't played a single match, and we are going to look at the standings. So VPxNeon goes up into 3rd position. That's in the top 4, crucial top 4 for them, and that pushes, of course, Cook and Gen G down a position apiece. But of course, they haven't played as many games, so when they get back out on track, we'll see how the standings stack up. We did see, of course, AG winning earlier today against Team USAC, so they'll take the lead of Division 1, putting Pac B down into 2nd. But yeah, we've still got some incredible matches coming up.
Pac B still having to lose a map. Like, I mean, they still haven't lost a single match. So, I mean, I think after this weekend, we're really gonna know, like, who's the top of the team. And also, I'm really looking forward to see what Big is able to do. I really think they're a top 3 contender as well, right?
Yeah, I'd agree. I was saying it in the broadcast earlier with G-Geek, is that I do have faith that they'll make it into the top 4. The top 3 I'm not 100% sure on, but if they do make it in the top 4, I kind of feel like it would be a little bit of a struggle to get there. They might be like just in by a couple of points. Not to say, of course, that, you know, Big has fallen off, Masa and Grenadi retire, but we've had some very surprising matches so far since the beginning of Overdrive. There have been some, you know, predictions where he said, oh, you know, this team is going to win. It's not going to be anything difficult for them. But then they go into the game and all of a sudden they get absolutely thrashed. So with Big, top 4, yes. Top 3, maybe.
Yeah, with that, maybe we're just gonna see tomorrow. I think it's a good start already where they play against VPxNeon. It's a team that is really like up there and can definitely spring a surprise. And yeah, I think with that, we're just gonna end the stream. So it was a quick one, 50 minutes. We were live. Thank you everybody for watching. We will be back tomorrow. So the Super Week, or just a lot of matches, will be happening. So just go ahead and consider hitting the follow button here if you don't want to miss out on any Trackmania esports Overdrive related action. And I've been Lucky Sturba, and I leave the last word to you, Mr. Legion.
Well, I can't really speak to much more than you've already said. big coming in with quite the big plate ahead of them. Of course, we will be seeing plenty of other matches as well tomorrow, and then of course we've got Sunday, and that should be quite the entertaining ordeal. But of course, everything that Turbo said about following and all that good stuff, so you are in the loop with Overdrive. But folks, that is going to do it for us here today. We will be back tomorrow. More matches, more chaos, and of course, more Overdrive. So see you later. See you next time. Have a good one.
Could you let me stay for now?